Imagine this. You're a 15-year-old girl, and two of your friends were staying at your house for some reason. One day, you came home tired and hungry, only for your mom to drop this nuclear bomb on you. Your friends tried to seduce your dad. I kicked them out. Flabbergasted, you didn't know what to say. Fast forward 15 years. Now, as a mom of a newborn, the truth of those words hits you. Your mom lied. Turns out, it was something worse. Way worse. And it boils your blood with a lifetime of rage and desperation. Welcome back. It's Reddit drama time, folks. This time, it isn't just messy. It's about betrayal, silence, and the lies we swallow because we're too young, too scared, or too loyal to question anything. The secret has been cooked and settled in your bones for too long. When it comes out, it hits like a ton of bricks. So, what really happened? And what do we suppose to do when the people we're supposed to trust the most pull the rug right out from under us? Let's find out. It's confession time. Our OP story is like this. My mom caught my dad with a 16-year-old and covered it up. Well, 16 years ago, we had two of my friends and their mother living with us while they went through a divorce. I was 15, and my friends were 14 and 16. I was away at another friend's house one night. When I came back the following day, my mom told me she had kicked them out because the 16-year-old tried to make a move on my dad. She absolutely slandered that poor girl's name. When I got into my 20s, it still sat in the back of my mind. I just knew I didn't get the truth. So I reached out to the 16-year-old, who was also now in her 20s. We met up, and I got the true story. I could see the pain in her eyes. She said she'd been in therapy for years because of my father, that he did it in such a loving way, it really fucked her up. She told me they'd been drinking on the property, then went skinny dipping, all while my mother was in bed, pregnant with my sister. They made their way into the house and upstairs, where eventually my mother walked in on them. I let her know I had her back if she ever decided to do anything about it. I am now in my 30s and recently became a mother, and it's all I've been able to think about. They still don't know that I know the truth. It's reawakened the rage in me, especially all of the teenage rage they made me shove down for so long. Because if anyone did that to my daughter, or if I caught my husband in that situation, hell no. It was easy to shove down before because I learned from the best, my parents. But becoming a mother, especially to a daughter, I've never wanted someone to pay for something they've done so badly. I feel like if I brought it up to my mom, she would just get angry and talk shit. She'd probably say the past is the past, and I need to let it go. That people can change. But I know he hasn't changed due to events over the recent years with his anger and control issues. He's a very big narcissist who believes he can do no wrong whatsoever. And my mother is so far up his ass. It makes me wonder if the 16-year-old was his only victim. If she was, and if he's never done it again, would that be okay? Is this forgivable? Because I don't feel like it is. I want to tell the whole family, but I feel like they'd just downplay it and make me seem crazy. Cut me off and turn my siblings against me. They've done it before when I called them out on other things. So, here I am, just needing to get it out, I guess. What would you do? Okay, so, let's get this straight. Your mom lies to your face at 15, says your friend came on to your dad. She kicks them out. Case closed, right? Except, it wasn't. Because years later, you find out it wasn't some teenage misunderstanding. It was your dad. Your own dad. The only guy who should have never, ever crossed that line. And your mom? Instead of being the shield, the person you run to when the world's crumbling, she made everything way, way worse, blaming the girl. Just swept it all under the rug like it was nothing. It wasn't just a one-time wrong. It was calculated. Pure manipulation. The people who were supposed to protect you turn out to be the ones who lit the match and started the fire. You spend years and years walking around with the smoke in your lungs, only to think that's just what air is supposed to feel like. You don't even realize how messed up it all is, not until you're older, and everything is already burned into you. So, let's unpack the headspace of the poster here, and look at the mess together. First, she's a teenager, 15. Stuck in a house where her mom's feeding her a whole different version of reality with gaslighting 101, emotional manipulation, whatever it is. Imagine being trained from that age to tuck everything, even anger, into some dusty little attic in your mind, lock the door, and keep telling yourself, this is normal, right? This is just how families are. Except, it's not. In her 20s, that little attic door is rattling because of guilt. It has a funny way of sneaking up on you, doesn't it? That gnawing feeling. Did I abandon someone who needed me? Was I complicit by staying silent? An unfinished business that's not just about what happened, but about who she is today, because of it. Then she becomes a mom. And boom, the mother bear instinct kicks in. Suddenly, all those buried emotions surging back, not just as memories, but as raw, protective rage. Looking at her own daughter, she thought, if anyone ever did to this kid what my father did to that girl, hell no, not on my watch. And let's talk about the mom in this story, because, woo, she's complicated. You want to get mad at her, right? She was the one who slandered the girl, who stood by the husband. But maybe she wasn't just being cruel. Maybe she was terrified. Maybe she was clinging so hard to the image of a perfect family that she shut her eyes to everything else. Fear of losing can make people do messed up things, after all. I don't mean that what she did is right, but we gotta add a layer to see things clearly, right? Now, the dad. Here's the king narcissist, who probably thinks none of this was ever his fault, who's been warping the world around him to protect his ego for his whole life. You gotta wonder, was that one incident a fluke? Or was it just the one time someone walked in? You don't just stumble into that kind of behavior like an accident. That's usually a pattern buried under the surface, waiting to erupt. So yeah, everything is messy and painful. Sometimes the past doesn't stay buried. It's just waiting for the right moment to crack you open. And maybe, just maybe, facing it is the first step toward something more honest. And a way out with forgiveness, maybe. I know that these days, forgiveness sounds like one of those big dramatic words people throw around left and right, in every movie and book and social media post. Like how we are only truly grown-ups when we forgive someone. But this family? They're not so different from the madrigals in Encanto, except instead of, we don't talk about Bruno, but more like, we don't talk about Dad. So, here's the question that's been bouncing around in this story. If someone did something truly awful, but they haven't done it again for years, do they deserve forgiveness? Now, I'm not talking about he was young, dumb, and broke kind of mistakes, but about an adult who crosses the line with a minor. A lapse in judgment can't erase a permanent stain like that so easily. We don't just outgrow it like some kind of bad fashion choices or a cringy email address from middle school. And here's the thing about forgiveness. It's not an act of wiping the slate clean. It's not a get-out-of-jail-free card. It's not for the one who caused the hurt, but for the person who was hurt, to help them heal, only if and when they're ready. It's not something the offender gets to demand or expect just because time passed, or I'm different now. Because when a family buries the truth, when they shove it under the rug and pretend it didn't happen, it doesn't just kill the chance for justice. It slowly eats away at everyone involved and turns the people carrying that secret into walking ghosts, haunted by something they were never meant to hold. So yeah, forgiveness? It's complicated. And in stories like this, it's not just a nice word, it's a battle. But are there any ways out? Like what OP has said, she wants to expose everything. It's like a little voice in our head keeps whispering, expose all of them, spill the tea, light it up. Yeah, that one. But here's the tricky part. In toxic families, the truth is also not welcome. Nope. It's like showing up to a family dinner and announcing you're vegan. Suddenly, you're the enemy. You're not the problem solver, you're the problem maker. The one who stirs the pot, who betrays the family, while the actual wrongdoing is pretending nothing happened. And look, I get it. There's a huge price tag attached to pulling back the curtain. You risk losing your place at the table, maybe even losing your whole connection to the family you grew up with. That's not nothing. That's heavy. But now, what if your gain is your own peace of mind, your own sense of integrity? Would you stop twisting yourself into knots just to keep the family image shiny and untouchable? So, yeah, it's not an easy call for OP at all. Alright, so here's where we land, friends. This question mark. This isn't just one family's nightmare tucked away in some dusty corner of Reddit. Nah, this is the kind of story that echoes through way too many homes, where the big dark secrets don't vanish, they just get swept under the giant rug labeled keeping the peace. And here's the real kicker. If you were the one sitting in that chair, carrying that truth, what would you do? Would you have the guts to smash the silence, tear down the carefully built walls? Or would you quietly learn to live alongside the secret, hoping it loses its bite over time? But at least I know that you would not be sitting there pretending that the water isn't already rising. I genuinely want to know what you think. Drop your thoughts in the comments. No judgment here, just real talk. And hey, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you want to keep diving into more of these messy, fascinating Reddit stories with me. Let's keep peeling back those layers together.